Welcome, race fans, to round number 10 of the Speedzone Cup Series. We are at the Tennessee Speedway, and there are a lot of storylines going into this race. The most important being that there are only 2 races left, including this race, until we crown a champion for the series. But the most shocking was that the former 9 team was sold off because their owner was indicted for possession of cocaine in his car Friday. Dylan Smith was told of this right before qualifying, that they did not have a race team anymore. Thankfully, Alex Clements' team was able to lend them both sponsorship and the backup car for this weekend only. So before Dylan Smith couldn't get any plans. Funny enough, they both qualified on the front row. Some other very brief storylines. Cody Higginbottom's team has brought in an experimental new car that might be used next season for the entire field. And Tristan Hagenstein is riding some ghosts. 9 years ago at this racetrack, he flipped over in a practice crash and was barely injured, but was able to race the next day, was hit driver's side door on the final lap, was critically injured for most of the season and would not participate in most of the season. But he's back at Tennessee, and to go along with his sponsor, he's going Marine Strong. And the most important storyline, Paul Scott, the points leader for the majority of the season, finished dead last in last week's race at Kentucky Racing Motorplex. Currently in first and second respectively are Spencer Newman and Wesley Daniel. So this is shaping up to be a very interesting points battle with 2 races left in the season. The engines have been fired, and let's go to your starting lineup presented by Jiffy Lube. The racing gods were shining upon Alex Clements' generosity as he starts on pole along with teammate for just this race, Dylan Smith. Row number 2, Cody Higginbottom and Ethan Butler. Higginbottom with that test car. Row number 3, Austin Moore. He always runs good here at Tennessee alongside Jake Fisher. Row number 4, Jake Ace has had a dismal couple of races. He starts alongside Tristan Hagenstein. Row number 5, Evan Moore with the new sponsor of AC/DC starts alongside championship contender Wesley Daniel. Chris Overland and Dominic Aragon make up row 6. Row number 7 is Adam Johnson and Paul Scott. Row number 8 is your current points leader, Spencer Newman. He starts alongside Derek Edison. Row number 9, Gino Harvey with the University of Tennessee sponsorship. Little hometown game for them. He's alongside Nicky McKay. Row number 10, Blake Moyer starts alongside Jeffrey Stanton. Row number 11, Tony Newman starts alongside Chris Pinn. Row number 12, Robbie Marbs starts alongside Alex Johnson. And rounding out the field starting on the shotgun row are Ryan Riddle and Devin Keselowski. And here are your current points standings. Spencer Newman and Wesley Daniel surpassed Paul Scott after last week's race at Kentucky. Tristan Hagenstein, Dominic Aragon, Evan Moore still waiting in the wings. And the pace car has pulled off on the pit road, and green flag is in the air. Let's go racing in Kentucky. 4 wide already as Cody Higginbottom putting that test car to use on board with Dylan Smith, and they're already bunched up like a Daytona or Talladega race. And oh no, we got cars off the track. That's Adam Johnson. He falls off the face of the earth. And oh no, Higginbottom's on his roof and he's on fire. Help me, Ricky Bobby, I'm on fire. And he quickly escapes from that car. And let's take a look at a replay. Just flips right over. That car should not be able to do that at this type of track. Everybody scatters and Ethan Butler gets dumped by somebody. Thankfully, he was able to get out of that car pretty quick. But just like that, the test car that the 32 team brought, they're done. And thankfully, that caution came out because Adam Johnson, the British person, he fell off the face of the earth. They were going 4 wide to the 3rd turn. And thankfully, he's able to get back in this race. Green flag back out in the air, and look at Tony Newman bombing it to the inside as we go through the turns 1 and 2. Oh, he hooks the 30 car. He saves it. Newman's going to fall back a bit. And we complete a green flag lap. Austin Moore, contact with a 30 car, 17 car blowing up, and there's oil on the track, and everybody wrecks. And that's our championship guys. Our top 3 championship contenders are involved. Holy crap. Major championship implications within this crash. Red flag immediately. I'm not sure why they didn't throw the caution flag to begin with, because that 17 car blew up to pieces. There was oil all over the racing surface, and the 30 and the 24 cars get loose. And look at Tony Newman and Wesley Daniel. He was so close to surpassing Spencer Newman. And Austin Moore, king of this track, he's done for the day. And Wesley Daniel, he knows this is a critical point situation. He's going to finish deep in the field. And he's not in pain. He's just in defeat. And Dylan Smith, Cinderella story for that team. Driver. And the clock struck midnight. And we have completely overlooked Dominic Aragon. If he is somehow able to win this race, that would catapult him into championship contention in the next race. That would be huge if he could just get a good run, but he's pretty deep in the field. Same goes for Tristan Hagenstein, but he was involved in that wreck, so I'm not sure about those drivers. We'll have to wait and see. As the mess has been cleaned up, we're going to get back to racing with 2 laps to go. Edison and Stanton lead them down, and JK spins out. No one really seems to care, and we're on board with Jeffrey Stanton's bumper cam. Nice shot there, and here comes Aragon to the inside. He's going to lead at the white flag lap. And Aragon win and throw a monkey wrench into the point situation. And oh no, Paul Scott and Spencer Newman spin around. Here comes Tristan Hagenstein. He wrecks. They're beating and banging. They're sideways across the line. Who wins it? Dominic Aragon has won this race and has catapulted himself up into the points. And so is Tristan Hagenstein. Oh my goodness. And Jake Ace has flipped upside down. I didn't even know that happened. Let's take a look at this frantic final lap. And Paul Scott and Spencer Newman wrecked. That's going to kill them in the points. And here comes the 88. He dives across pit road. The 31 breaks in the corner. And they're beating and banging, coming across the start-finish line sideways. And then Hagenstein with another hard wreck. And the whole field piles up into them. And Spencer Newman and Paul Scott having words with each other. They don't sound nice. And Dominic Aragon burns it down. And we got a fight. It's between Scott and Newman. And Hagenstein pulls them away. And that was a pretty gruesome fight right there, folks. Hopefully there won't be any penalties dished out. We're at the end of the season's rope. And tempers are high. But there's your winner. And we're going to show a graphic right here in a second. But Dominic Aragon has definitely thrown his hat into the ring. And so has Tristan Hagenstein. And here are your points going into the final race of the season. Tristan Hagenstein and Dominic Aragon leapfrogged Paul Scott and Wesley Daniel. But Spencer Newman still retains onto the points. And the drivers you see in green, they have a mathematical shot of winning the championship. Even though the Johnson brothers, they need a miracle to help them win. Especially Adam Johnson. He is just in by a point. So it's going to get very interesting going into the final race at the Flemington Speedway. Congratulations to Dominic Aragon on his win, and the next time we go off the air, we will have a champion crown. From the Tennessee Speedway, I am Troy Wright, and I am signing off. We will see you in the next race.